I'm going to do a little breakdown for you guys. So what is an erotic blueprint? An erotic blueprint is your sexuality stage, your blueprint type, and the obstacles and pathways to optimal sexual health and pleasure. And so each and every one of us is in a sexuality stage. We can be in a healing stage. So say there was trauma or something like that. Maybe some person just had a birth, those kinds of things. So we can be in a healing stage. We can be in a resting stage. Perhaps again, somebody went through something that was emotional, and they need some time to just rest, to just relax and take a break. From there we have the curious stage, and this is the stage where there's a lot of curiosity. This person may be taking courses, might be doing workshops, might be just trying to amp up their education, because they're curious of like what's more, like there's got to be more to sexuality. And then there's the adventurous stage where we're like, okay, I've got it. I'm ready to take on the world and just get really adventurous. This person is just very sexually active, taking on maybe multiple partners, is just out there in the game, in the world. And then we have the transformational stage, which is the stage of sexuality where someone is what's more. They might be interested in tantric sex, and different spiritual practices, breath work. They are looking for the what's more, like what's bigger than just orgasm, what is bigger than just these two people or multiple people. So yeah, that's just a breakdown of like the stages. And then the erotic blueprint types, which is usually what I talk about when I'm talking about the erotic blueprints. So there's 5 different types. There is the energetic, the sensual, the sexual, the kinky, and the shapeshifter. And so the energetic is really turned on by like light hovering touch, lots of space and anticipation, lots of tease. They're the type that would look right into your eyes. And so there's a light energetic and there's a dark energetic. And we won't get too far into that or we'll be here all day. But the energetic is, yes, again, someone who's turned on by like barely their touch, very, very light. They may like the touch of a feather moving tantalizingly slow across the body, across the skin. So they're very aware. They really, really love deep emotional connection. If they don't feel connected, they'll shut down. They're just very intuitive. They're people who are just very, very interested in growth, in tease. And so they're really turned on by getting something, but then creating longing by taking it away. Okay, so they're not like the wham bam, let's get it done and over, where they're like, let's draw this out, let's play with energy and come in and out and in and out. So anyway, they just really, really love deep, deep presence. The shadow aspect of this blueprint is, if we go, I won't go too deep, but if we were to go deeper, sometimes highly energetic people, highly sensitive people, are people who had trauma in their early childhood. Maybe they were spanked, maybe there was a lot of just really crazy energy, and so if there's shadow there, they can like jump out of their body. They can disconnect from their body. They, if things happen too fast, too quick, too soon, or people go straight to the genitals, it creates this collapse of energy because it's too much, because they are off the body. self-aware. Okay. What else? They are sometimes those people who are nervous in public situations. Okay. So if you're very hypersensitive and you have a hard time in malls or have a hard time at like big parties and stuff like that, because they're like big antennas. They can feel the energy of a lot of people. And so with that, they can be thrown off if their partner has got something going on, or they can pick up on it, or they can, if they're not intelligent enough or self-aware enough in their energy, they may think it's their own and misinterpret the energy that's going on. They're like, oh, because sometimes I deal with a lot of energetics and I ask them like, is this really yours? Like, is this anxiety, is this like, hypersensitivity really yours? So yeah, and that also the energetic, they can be a little bit like hierarchical, they're like, my sex is the best sex. I know all the bells and the whistles and stuff. So anyway, that's just it in a nutshell. Next we have the sensual type, and I kind of explained this, I guess I wasn't on this platform the other day. I did a really awesome live with the Erotic Blueprints and Feng Shui with my really good friend Jess Neary. Jess Neary Feng Shui. Check her out on Instagram. It was really, really cool talk. But if I'm to talk about the energetic, it's off the body, okay? And then if I'm to move to the sensual is into like closeness, okay? They're all up in your space. They love kisses and touch and hugs and cuddles. They're the type that if they don't get that physical touch, they may think there's something up. They may feel like, oh, my partner isn't into me. So feeding and what the essential is really, really turned on by is like the senses. Okay. So they could be just fucking turned on by the taste of a strawberry or chocolate. They could be turned on by beautiful music. They really, really appreciate the aesthetic of a room, right? So essential would be like, why is that jacket hanging up there in the back of your video? Like, that's highly unprofessional. Like they can fixate on things. What else? So yeah, they love that body to body contact. They love beauty. They love artistry. They love smells and scents and just the beauty. The shadow aspect of the sensual is that because they're so in the senses, if you're moving into intimacy and the smell isn't right, it can take them out. They can get so caught up in their heads if things aren't going, or if things are off in the room, like the socks on the floor or like the to-do list and da 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 da. So the best way to get a sensual out of their head and into their body is with like deep grounding, pressure, massage, holding, grounding. What else of this one? I got a few notes here because usually I like to talk with people, but since I'm just doing it by myself, I tend to go off on tangents. So I'm trying to stay focused. They may be worried, and this is a really good one. They may be worried sometimes that like if they are too up in their head and not in their body, they can get worried about like, oh, I'm not aroused enough, or I'm not coming too quick, or I'm not going to come quick enough. And you know what I mean? They can just get really disassociated with what's going on. And so what really feeds them as well is if you're intimate with a sensual is to keep telling them that that you're enjoying what's going on. Like, I love that touch. I love, I love the way you're kissing around my legs, you know, like they really love that positive feedback. Next in the blueprints is the sexual, and I love the sexuals. It's funny because now I love the sexuals because I used to have so much just trauma around the sexual, but now that I understand and have this like, this vocabulary for sexuality, it's been so... I think I'm back. Am I on? Did I lose? Give me a wave or a thumbs up if I'm back on. Anyway, I'll keep going. So the sexual is turned on by bodies, by visual stimulation. So they're the type that love seeing naked bodies. They're turned on by genitals, direct genital touch. So unlike like the energetic, where touch to the genitals too fast, too soon can shut them down, the sexual, direct touch to nipples, to cock, to vulva is just like their pathway. So they're easily aroused. They can go from 0 to 60. They're the type that are like, I just want to get it in or put it in me. Like they want to go to penetration. So they're just super fun. They're super fun. It's like they don't need too much of the massage or running the bath or like that anticipation and tease. They're just down to get to business. And so they tend to not carry very much shame around their bodies. Like they're the type of people that'll just walk around naked, feel good, feel confident. But with that, because they're the type to go from 0 to 60 really, really quick, they can, like the shadow aspect of that is that if they're not in tune and aware of that other people aren't wired the same way as they are, they can become disconnected from what their partner needs and wants, okay? Maybe not wants if there's no like proper communication there. So they can lack in communication and not always. Anyway, we won't go too deep. But yeah, the sexual can just be a little bit just straight to the point, and they can miss the nuances of sex, like the things that the other blueprints really master. So let me just see what else I got. So they love sex all the time. Okay, like I know when my sexual is acting up and I'm like, I just want sex all the time. So they really like just mouth on mouth genital touch. They, yeah, and just can sometimes just be self-focused, and I'm looping around and saying the same thing again. From there, we have the kinky type. And the kinky type is all about the naughty factor and or like the power factor, the power dynamic. They have, if they're developed, they have just a wide vocabulary for sex, okay? Because sex for them is not straight to penetration. It can be whatever's taboo to them. They're really can be into, okay? You don't have to, because I'm just giving you like everything. They could be into role playing, spanking, humiliation, dom and sub. They could be really into mind sex and role play and power dynamics. They are extremely what's the word? Creative. Okay. Their world is just vast and beautiful, because there is a sensation-based kinky who is interested in intense sensations, slaps, pinches, even electric stim and stuff like that, bondage. But then there's also the psychological kinky where anything of the mind and creating scene is possible, which is, it's never ending. when there's no shame, or I should never, we all have shame, but if shame has been worked on here, they have excellent communication skills. Because if you're going into something as deep as kink, there's got to be boundaries. There's got to be what's a yes and what's a no. Okay, so they're the best. A healthy kink is one of the best communicators out of the blueprints. But in the shadow aspect of that is if there is deep shame, or if there is things in the past, they can feel like they are wrong for wanting what they want, or being turned on by what they're turned on by. Their route to pleasure can sometimes be like, for example, they could be extremely turned on by red high heels and rubber rain jacket and like a wig, like putting on a persona. But they could just get really ingrained in only being turned on by that. Okay? And so they can get themselves into a rut sometimes. And another shadow is, because the realm of kink is so big, sometimes there can be an intensity in pushing the limits, like further and further and further and further and further. But honestly, amazing blueprint. And then the last blueprint is the shapeshifter. The shapeshifter is someone who has a huge appetite for intimacy and pleasure. They are turned on by all of the things that turn on the other blueprints. Now, a lot of people think that they are a shapeshifter, but if you're not truly well-versed and well-practiced and well at giving and receiving in all of the blueprints, you're not a true shapeshifter. Well, there's just a stack, and that is something that we would learn in the Erotic Blueprint breakthrough course together. Is we have our primary erotic blueprints, but there's also like the route to pleasure, and you learn about stacking and about where to place these and what touches and how to give and receive when. So the shapeshifter is an amazing lover. Amazing. They love to give. They're really creative. There's everything is on the menu. They are just have a lot of variety and creativity. They own their pleasure. They can be just amazing givers. Amazing givers. The shadow aspect to the shapeshifter is that if their partner or partners are only wired, primarily in one blueprint, they can be underfed, meaning that because they have such a wide vocabulary and a wide, they're turned on by so many different things. What might have been amazing sex one night, if the partner is to duplicate that the next night, they might not be turned on by it. They're always looking to change. They're always looking for variety. They're always looking for something different. And so they could just be like, oh, I'm broken, or I'm never gonna completely be satisfied in my sexuality. And yeah, so in a nutshell, those are the erotic blueprint types. And then the next component to the complete erotic blueprint is the obstacles and pathways to sexual pleasure. So there could be, think physically, emotionally, energetically, bioenergetically, biochemical. And so there could be things going on with, say, hormones. There could be things going on in the physical body, like breaks and tears and, spinal alignment. There could be people who are highly sensitive to the chemicals that are in, the washer detergent, chemicals, and like who knows what's in the water supply. So in this component, This is what we focus on in module 2 of the Erotic Blueprint Breakthrough course, is really going into the factors that could be, outside of your blueprint type and your sexuality stage, the factors that could be contributing to perhaps like disconnection in the body, or just like things such as headaches, or coming too soon, or not being able to orgasm. And so that's that in a nutshell. And so, oh my, I've rambled on for 20 minutes. So from there, I have to say that this course, so the Erotic Blueprint Breakthrough course, is an 8-module, 8-week sex and sexuality course. It is the one course that I spent money on that really made a difference in my life. I've done tons of education, tons and tons and tons of education, and this is the one thing that I can honestly say gave me a whole picture of sexuality, a whole picture for a way of being in the world, a whole picture for understanding myself as a person, but also understanding and having compassion and empathy for the people around me. Because there's so much going on in the world, and we've been taught so much shit. And I want you to just like take a second and just think, like, where'd you get your sexual education from? Like, did you even get one? Was it just an anatomy lesson? Or was it stories of your parents saying, we don't talk about that? You're going to have sex? We're going to get you on the pill. Don't get pregnant. Sex is dirty. Sex is only had between a man and a woman in marriage. And so this course really, really breaks down those ideas and those beliefs. And we cover the things I just mentioned. And we also cover like how to understand your own blueprint, and then how to understand the blueprints of your partner or partners or potential future partners, or understanding past partners. I've heard a lot of that as well. It's like, whoa, now I know why my past partner and I just did not last and had a lot of quarrels and had a lot of disconnection. But becoming just an erotic detective, okay? It's very playful, it's very fun, there's lots of games. And what is so beautiful about this course is that, yes, it's addressing what's going on in the mind with sexuality and psychology, but it is a somatic based approach. Okay, so though you may think that you are turned on by X, Y, and Z, when we play these games, these AB games and stuff like that, we discover a lot of information. It's about digging up information. It's about finding out, ooh, I didn't think I would like that, but I do like that. And that is definitely a no, but there's just so much greater communication in it and everything. We go into speaking the blueprints. So there's a different language, there's a different tone, there's a different pace, there's a different tone. I think I've already said tone, but there's so many different nuances to the way that we can speak blueprints. Okay, it's so amazing. And then from there we move into healing, and we go into addressing what could be in the underlying of your blueprint. What could be inhibiting you? What could be lingering in the past? And we really go in deep. And this is the module that really blew me open, because I was very unaware of the beliefs that were just set up shop in the back of my brain that that were stopping me from moving forward. And then from there we move into expanding, and we move into expanding into the other blueprints, and then we learn how to keep things fun and keep things adventurous and keep learning and keep learning and keep learning for hot sex for a lifetime. And so I honestly can't say enough about this course. If you are interested in doing one-on-one work with me, that would just look like just so much support and so much encouragement, and having someone to guide you and to keep you accountable and to have compassion and empathy for where you are and holding your vision for you to move forward. And I have just a deep, deep gratitude for this work, and I hope that whether or not you decide to go down this path with me, that this live gave you a little bit of an understanding about what I do and what the erotic blueprints are and how this course is structured. I think that's it. That's all. I'm just gonna scroll and see if anybody said any questions. So if you have any questions, just shoot them out. I'll stay on here for a second. But in a nutshell, and I guess another thing I should say is that the Erotic Blueprint Breakthrough course isn't just this course. And when you decide to work with me, you get access to a community like I've never met anywhere else. There are orgasmic yoga classes. There are monthly calls with because I am an Erotic Blueprint Breakthrough coach, but there are about 100 of us globally, and we are always engaging, and we are always talking with our people, and we are a community of people, and we answer questions. And so even though this is an 8-week course, you can keep working with me 100%, but even if you don't want to continue working with me, you have access to a community for life. And you get the erotic persona class. You get tips, tricks, tricks and tools, sex tips, tricks, and tools, which is a monthly online call where we just dive into different tips and different techniques and different ways of giving and receiving pleasure. Because Jaya, who I'm certified under, she is a somatic-based sexologist, and she is a massage therapist, and she is a tantra master, and she is a Reiki master. And so we as coaches are a community of doctors, of physicians, of massage therapists, of every fucking modality under the sun. And so yes, you're working with me, but you get access to a community, like I said, like no other. There are adventure dates. There are essential oils classes. And I should mention that I am a doTERRA wellness advocate. So I also use essential oils in my own practice to help people expand into their different blueprints and to heal blueprints, because each essential oil has an emotional component to it. There's the oil of surrender, there's the oil of abundance, there's the oil of unmasking. And so I really integrate essential oils in my practice to help people just get everything that they want out of their sexual experiences, and to keep getting it over time. So if you have any questions on this and what I do and what it looks like to work with me, just send me a message. I would love to hear from you. I am looking to start my next round of Erotic Blueprint Breakthrough course. clients, I just want to call you guys friends. Clients, I am starting, March 1st. So get on it. And if you have any questions, again,